You are listening to Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast, a podcast where we believe wrestling is a buffet and there's something there for everyone. Make sure you're following us on all social media such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook under Two Heels and a Face. That's number 2 Heels and a Face. Make sure you check out our website, twoheelsandaface.com.
Era, 2 heels and a face.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast. On today's episode, we have two guests. They've been doing some big life stuff recently. We'll get into who they are, and I think it's two guests that the listeners will really appreciate as well. They've been on the podcast before. We're fans of them. Chris, before we get into that, how's it going, man?
It's going well. Weather is getting nice here in Chicago, even though it tricks us from time to time.
Hit me with some weather talk, man. That's
dude,
so,
real quick. You just gotta enjoy. You gotta embrace it while you have it, right? Because you never know when it's gone. And outside of that, I'm just excited to have the guests that we will have on. And actually, they're in the green room. So if we just bring them in, are you ready?
I don't see why we should waste any more time. So let's bring in Jess, GPA and Laynie Luck. Woo! You guys are in the show. How's it going, guys?
Hey.
Okay.
There we go.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Let's go.
All right. GPA Laynie Luck. How's it going?
Doing great. Life good.
Good to see you guys.
Congrats on everything. Let's clap it up, Chris.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my gosh. The bling. Wow. Love it.
Nice.
The applause.
Nice. I don't know how clumsy you are, Jeff, but I have like a rubber replacement that I wear. I don't know if that's on I don't know if you're going to get one of those or not, because I feel like I'm always in fear of losing my ring.
Yeah. It was James Russo actually that tipped me off. He said that you can find a pack of rubber ones for like $8, and I did. So I wear this for, not special occasions, but just times where I know I'm not going to be doing anything physical, not the gym or anything like that. So I do have the rubber ones. That's usually my go-to.
Yeah, they're very handy. But yeah, we wanted to have you guys on, talk to you at a show recently. I know we've been in contact about some stuff too, and you guys, rightfully so, we're basically planning everything that you have done within the past couple months. So yeah, I want to shoot the shit. I want you guys to gloat in a sense, or like take us through that journey. How was the planning phase of everything? Like how did that go? Was it just hectic? People always say it is.
It really wasn't too bad. Like,
okay, we
didn't have to make too many decisions. Our venue was like all inclusive and whatever. So like they took a lot of the stress off, but it was just like the week leading up to it was just bananas with like 100 things to do every day. But like outside of that, everything was pretty chill.
Nice. And then the wedding day, how did everything go on the wedding day? I'm assuming, did it all go to plan? Was there stuff like behind the background that you're piecing together or anything like that? Or like take me through your day there.
I'd say everything was pretty smooth. It was like we had to figure out where Jeff was going to get ready, because like we assumed that there was like 2 rooms, but there's only a bridal suite. And
okay.
So like he had to go back to the hotel with his guys and get ready there. And I forgot my bouquet when I was waiting to walk down the aisle. So my mom's
there you go,
sprinting up the stairs, like while the music's playing, getting my freaking bouquet, coming back down. But other than like teeny little things, everything was pretty good.
Jeff got a little taste of what most female wrestlers go through in locker rooms, right?
My locker room.
It was the reverse.
But it was actually kind of nice because like we got to the building and there wasn't really anybody there, but you could just sort of feel the not pressure, but the day is starting to roll along once you get to the building. Like you're kind of going downhill at that point. But because I went back to the hotel to change, it kind of gave me a chance to breathe and not let the day get too overwhelming. So it's like you kind of step in, you get a sense of everything, and then I got to step away for about 30, 40 minutes and come back into everything. So that was kind of nice. It was a little breather on a very hectic day.
Definitely. Did you guys do the ceremony? So and then the reception was like all together. Did you have to drive around different places?
Yeah, it was just one thing. So we like did the ceremony. We went out back into the lobby, and then they like switched everything around for like dinner and the party and everything for us.
Nice. Any funny stories come from the wedding? Because I saw a clip of Two Juice on the dance floor with Shaza, and I had some questions. I didn't know Two Juice, he can move a little bit. I mean, it was more than I think I expected. But any stories like that come from it, or any like late night shenanigans or stuff that you're willing to share, of course.
Yeah, I mean, just the state of Two Juice makes it impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there wasn't really anything too crazy. I did want to say, you were asking about the planning of it. It's a story that I can get into more specifics probably later on down the road. I won't name specific names, but technically, Bad Bunny kind of ruined our wedding a little bit.
Yeah, what the fuck? Bad Bunny.
Oh, wow. How so?
I guess maybe ruined is a strong word, but so for my party, for my groomsmen, I had somebody selected who was all confirmed, all set to come in up until maybe a week or two before the wedding, and then he hit me up and he let me know that he was being called into duty because he had to actually help train Bad Bunny for his match at Backlash. So, so we had to pull him out of the wedding and make last minute replacement and yada yada. So now there's a personal grudge there with Bad Bunny, so we might have to revisit that down the road.
Hey, show subject to change, right? Wedding subject to change, bachelor party subject to change. Wrestling gets in the way.
Yeah, of course, it figures. We couldn't have it go perfectly smooth. Something had to go wrong.
That's funny. Yeah, you have a grudge. You got a bone to pick with him now. So we'll see him at Logan Square, I'm sure, soon. But,
yeah,
for sure.
Very, very soon. Yeah, we'll talk to Dave.
Did you guys have any? I gotta ask because like there's always the viral videos of weddings where like the groom. I had an unconventional wedding too, but I think I would have worked something in just because I'm a wrestling nerd. But like the groomsmen always the groom always coming out with like the belt or anything. Like, did you guys have any personal touches or even wrestling touches in your wedding, like anything like that, or no?
Not like of our own doing, but Jeff's best man like made us like a marriage wrestling title. Like it's right here. I'm gonna go grab it.
Yeah, go get it. See, this is the bonus stuff for the listeners who want to celebrate GPA and Laynie's wedding and watch on YouTube. This is the bonus stuff right here.
How cute. Can you see with the lights? Like,
oh wow.
Yeah. Impressive ring light, by the way. Jeez, that thing's gigantic.
Yeah, thank you. It's very scary.
It's cool. It's slim, it's slender, it's sleek. That's very cool. No, I really like that. What was your guys did you guys have like a dance? What was your guys like first song? You guys have like a first song, right? Is that how it goes, or like a dance song? What was that?
First dance, yeah.
First dance.
Yeah, his sister is actually like a professional like ballroom competitive dancer and teacher and stuff. So she gave us little routine to do to Lift Me Up by Rihanna.
Oh, is that a slower song or is that an upbeat song?
Yeah, it's like one of the newer ones she put out for, what movie was it? Black Panther?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. That song has made me emotional many times because if you see that movie, I guess I'm not spoiling it, but there's a lot of Chadwick Boseman and the character T'Challa, like a lot of tributes in that movie. And then they go, like it ends to Rihanna. So like you can get I'm like getting a little teared up thinking about it right now. But yeah, that's a very moving song. So that's a really good choice. Cool. Well, it sounds really fun.
Yeah, and with the dance, we that was just somehow through all the other stuff we had to do, that was the very last thing we got to. So I think we only practiced it the day before.
The night before for like 20 minutes. We said, all right, good, we'll get you out there.
And it wasn't just a box step, like there was actual like a full
like
routine
a whole
to
thing,
it, so.
A whole minute and a half or something.
You guys were just calling it. What did they call it? Calling it on the fly, or what's the phrase?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we called it in the ring, basically.
Called it in the ring.
And then we didn't even try with like of course it's a wedding dress, so it's like in the way and stuff. So we're risking a lot.
You guys have the athleticism, I think, to pull that off. So I
was like, we got this. We'll figure it out.
And there's for the people watching on YouTube, there's now a dog on the screen too. So.
We have Killin, our handsome boy. He's always on our Instagram on Sunday mornings. He hangs out with us.
Oh my, he's so pretty.
Oh my gosh, you're so handsome. Ooh, baby.
That's great. The honeymoon. Okay, so Jamaica, right? Was it? Okay, I was a little bit of a Instagram. I don't want to use like I was looking at some Instagram photos, nothing weird or anything like that. But I did know, I felt like I noticed the resort. I feel like I might have been there. Was it a Secrets resort?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it was there last year for a wedding. I think it was it Montego Bay? Secrets Montego Bay? Okay. So I was doing a little bit of light, cordial Instagram stalking
I was more captivated by, GPA sleeping in the pool, but
that was him all the time. I can never get him to go in the water, in the beach, or nothing. But a pool, he'll be in there all day, I guess.
Okay. The entertainment staff at that place was really good, was it not? Or
Yeah.
Did you...
Every night or something.
Every night or something. There was a guy. Did you meet a guy named Slim Jimmy by any chance? He was on the entertainment staff.
He's not a magician, is he?
No. Was there a magician there?
Yeah, he was like a kind of a street magician. I guess he was probably not actually employed by the.
No, certainly not employed.
But he was a strange character that just sort of sidled up to us and then disappeared into the night at one point.
He just came up to us and was just staring at us. Not introducing himself, just being a weirdo standing in our vicinity. And then he just started doing stuff. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's over here. And we said, okay, thank you.
Those are some wacky dudes, magicians. What was the main, was it all leisure, or did you guys do any what did you guys do?
100% leisure.
100% leisure.
Lay on the beach, eat, take a nap. Lay on the beach, eat, take a nap. Great.
Great. No hang gliding, no catamaran or anything like that.
Not this time. We were just trying to really chill for the first time in a while. But we want to go on more of these kind of trips now that we spoiled ourselves with this one. Now it just has to happen every year. But we're gonna try to be active and explore on those other trips.
Cool. And that's this is not a question I really wanted to ask because I think it's none of my business and I'm not trying to be anyone's mother. But after you get married, there's always the question of now what do you guys want to do? So it sounds like it's more travel as opposed to more maybe a child in the future. It's have some fun right now.
There's not going to be any wrestling babies from us.
Okay.
We will be wrestling's auntie and uncle forever and ever.
Okay.
But yeah, we just want to get some travel, tag forever and everywhere together. Just go everywhere and tag. And
yeah, and there's not really, because I guess when you're in wrestling, you almost aim to do boring stuff, because our careers involve, travel and just crazy spectacle and all that. So there's really not a lot of crazy long-term goals. A lot of it's just kind of career oriented. And if everything goes the way we want career-wise, then that'll kind of set us up for the rest of our lives after that. There's wrestling related things we both want to do after we're done in ring. But yeah, as far as kind of the basic domestic traditional goals, there's nothing too special.
Yeah,
we're kind of in the crazy phase of our lives right now.
Yeah, these are the times.
That makes sense. And no, it's great. We want to talk about tagging and stuff like that. Chris, did you have any other questions before?
No, I was right going to transition into that, right? So as looking into the future, blank canvas, live tag team partners, now taking that really into the ring and seeing you guys build that tag team. and partnerships and different promotions. Like, what does that look like going forward in the ring? And how did you guys? Because was it just very natural? Like, oh, we're just gonna be a team, and it all works great. Like, there was no like hesitancy about doing that.
No, I was just like, we're doing this in real life all the time, so why not also do it in the ring?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that especially when it comes to companies and promoters, like, obviously our relationship isn't a secret. So
Yeah.
because we're both on shows, the same shows a lot, it just kind of makes sense to pair us up. And I don't quite remember. I think our first tag was at Freelance, like our very, very first one. So that makes the most sense because we're most established here in Chicago. But I think because the results have been pretty positive thus far, now other companies are kind of picking up on it too, and we'll both be there at the same time. It's hard to find good, solid, established tag teams, so it just makes sense. Like, if you have both of us on a show and you have nothing else for us, then why not pair us up?
Yeah, no, I think we talked to Heather Monroe maybe 4-ish episodes ago, and she was advocating, I think, for more tag teams and more either split or full women tag teams as well. So I think there's definitely some room to build in that area. If you just look at a card, build like on consistent teams as well, and not necessarily just two people to being together, but you guys have built that like consistency where like people expect you to kind of be a team, so to speak. I think as of recently, that's kind of my expectation, is I expect to see that on the card. Do you guys, so it sounds like you guys, would you say your guys' like relationship changes when you're outside or inside of the ring? Like, does any of that carry over? Do you guys find yourself doing one thing at home and then in the ring you're like kind of doing the same or same kind of collaboration?
No, I'd say it's all pretty consistent throughout.
Okay.
And a lot of it was from the thick of the pandemic. Like, all we were able to do was train with each other, and so that's where we developed a lot of our in-ring chemistry. And then by the time we got back onto live shows, we had basically just been wrestling each other for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So, there's just kind of become that physical chemistry that was almost always there, but now is really there because of what we were kind of forced into for a while. So now it's all just kind of blended together. So now we've gone from becoming consistent training partners, and now the tag team chemistry has just sort of naturally developed. So it's all pretty consistent from behind the scenes to out in front of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Just real quick to take a step back. Did the proposal happen pre-pandemic or mid-pandemic?
That was pretty early on in the pandemic. That was,
okay.
I want to say April 2021.
Oh.
Because it was 2 years, so 2021.
Yeah, that whole period is just one.
I know.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I had to ask, but I just remembered because it was YouTube training, and that video went viral and all that. So
yeah, and it's funny because you'd asked about did we include anything wrestling related in the wedding, and I saw Simon Grimm at Underground a few weeks ago, and somebody backstage had asked us the same thing, and he made the best point. He's like, "There's no way you're going to do anything that's going to go more viral than the
that's true.
So don't even try." And that's kind of what our philosophy was. Like, we'll just keep it nice and simple, because anything we try is, we're not going to get picked up by ESPN and Bleacher Report and all that. So, but it was early on in the pandemic, and that was definitely probably the highlight of this whole process was going viral like that.
Yeah.
So unexpectedly, we just wanted to share it with our friends and look how cute and romantic that was. All of a sudden, everyone thought it was.
Yeah, that was crazy, and you're right. I couldn't pinpoint what month, what year. That all seems like a blur. And so it sounds like, I think that and this is not to say that every relationship, right, ups and downs, it's work. It's hard work to get to where you guys are in terms of chemistry and getting to know each other, knowing how each other react and act to certain things. But it sounds like sometimes some people I know in the pandemic, they maybe were dating and have broken up because of it. But it sounds like it only just that time together has only made you stronger in terms of your relationship. Can you guys confirm that?
Yeah, we started the pandemic in a 500 square foot studio apartment.
Okay.
It was just literally nowhere but right next to each other for so long. And
Yeah.
just being able to come out of that and like not hate each other, it was like, oh, well, this will probably work forever, right?
That's very positive.
And not to bring a negative note to all this happiness and building into this great relationship inside and outside the ring. I remember like I believe it was pandemic times because Charlie and I would be talking about it. Your apartment burned down.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right?
I can't believe we forgot. Yeah. Why didn't I add that to the agenda? I totally forgot about that. Damn. Yeah.
It's all good, but yeah, like it was, you guys went through several things together there. And I mean, look at the outcome here today, right? So it's just a testament of what you guys done. And one thing I wanted to mention about like that chemistry that we talk about, right? Now that we see you guys as a potential strong tag team here, is that, GPA not being the most liked guy at Freelance, and then Laynie in the total opposite, right? The party unicorn, and then kind of coming like bringing Laynie to the dark side a little bit. I think it goes to what Charlie and I were talking about before we started recording about like how important storylines are and how you're able to tug at the crowd's feelings, and that just adds an extra layer to your dynamic and chemistry. So all that to say, congrats, I guess.
Yeah, and like there wasn't really, we didn't have that moment of like, Laynie turns around and I'm there and all of a sudden we're united. It was just kind of a natural thing. Like it's because we're both so public and, like I said, we keep everything in our relationship very much online and visible. I think the fans just kind of knew. It would have been silly to ignore it.
They're smart, but not smart enough to just know that he's just misunderstood. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole turning to the dark side thing is subjective. I think that,
what if he's turning to the light side? Like,
yeah, or maybe I'm, turning Laynie to the light side. Maybe that's
I've seen the light.
Dark.
You guys are in the freaking dark.
Yeah.
You're a damn Marvel villain, Geoff. Like all the Marvel villains think they think they're the hero of the story. And well, you got that going for you. You're like Thanos, where Thanos has he's like, why Thanos is so convinced in his head he's correct. Killmonger was another really good villain where it's like Killmonger thought this is the way it should be and like made good points. So you're convincing fella. So I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm not just here twirling my mustache and putting on my black hat. There's definitely reasons for the things that I do. And if people disagree with them, I mean, that sounds like a personal problem to me. It's, I'm convicted in what I do, and Laynie sees the reasons behind the things that I do. So yeah, again, it's all perspective, and, it's all a lot of subjectivity.
Well, it's a good transition. So I have some of these questions we're asking you, I think you may have seen before. We sent some questions to you and we were going to do something. I'm glad we're talking now though, because I wanted to ask like how you guys support each other, and obviously through the fire, right? Like we can go a little bit more into that if we want, because it's not look like you had something to say. But like, what are some ways you guys support each other outside of the ring? Like let us and fight through that adversity, because that had to be a tough time.
Yeah, with the fire, it's crazy because at the time that it happened, I mean, in certain ways, that was almost not even at the top of the list of concerns that was going on in the world at that time, because that was in the thick of everything. That was during the George Floyd protests, and there was so much going on in the world that, when we hit maybe a month after the fire, we were actually kind of forgetting that it happened. It was like, oh yeah, our apartment burned down. So yeah, like that. And I always say that in a way, it was almost the most convenient house fire that you could ever have, because where we were living at the time was maybe a few city blocks away from where my mom lives. And she owns a building that had a fully furnished second floor with nobody living in it, that was all ready to go. So like literally that night when the apartment burned down, we were able to come over and relocate there.
That's awesome.
and our lease was up, I think, less than 4 or 5 months from that time.
That's quick.
So really all it took was just kind of filling out paperwork and figuring out, the remaining months on the lease. And, from there we just shifted from one place to the other. There really wasn't we didn't lose a lot of possessions because we didn't really have much that was of value at the time anyway. So,
Okay.
yeah, in terms of fires, like it was
Very
really
casual.
yeah.
Very not traumatic. It was okay.
Yeah, and she actually wasn't even home at the time. She was working a night shift, and so I was just kind of dozing on the couch, and all of a sudden I saw like a light coming from the kitchen. Almost looked like there was maybe a service vehicle or something out in the alley. So I was like, "Oh, what's going on out there?" So I looked, and from my view, I was able to look out of our kitchen window into the alley, and I couldn't quite see what was going on, but I could tell that there was a fire. And I thought that it was coming from one of the dumpsters. So I was about to open our back door and step out onto the back porch to go look. And as soon as I reached for the handle, smoke just started pouring in to the back door. So what it actually was our back porch. Our entire back porch was in flames.
Jeez.
Yeah. So just in that split second, it was kind of a fight or flight thing. I thought to myself, okay, let me put on a pair of shorts, a shirt. Let me grab my phone, keys, and wallet.
No shoes.
Yeah, no. Just grabbed what I needed, the essentials, and bolted out the door. And yeah, so it was within maybe 10 minutes the fire truck started pulling up. But yeah, definitely could have been a lot worse. It was a crazy night, scary night. And then Lady got home, and with what she was doing for work, she actually wasn't even near her phone.
I wasn't allowed to have my freaking phone on me.
Yeah, so
So-
Okay.
yeah, it was probably another maybe hour or so until she was even able to fathom that our apartment was burning
Yeah, I
down.
just get out. I have a million missed calls. People are like, "Is your apartment okay?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?"
Dang. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I remember I made a quick post. I don't remember if it was to Twitter or Facebook or whatever, just to let everybody know what was going on, that we were okay.
Mhm.
It felt like within minutes of me posting, the actual first call that I got was from Mustafa Ali. He was the first one to give me a ring, make sure that we were okay, make sure I didn't need anything. So yeah, it was a crazy night, but yeah, all in all, could have been so much worse.
Yeah, I think you made the right choice, obviously getting out of there. So glad no one was hurt. Glad Laynie wasn't home.
Yeah, I'm glad I was at home because my car would have certainly been parked in the alley and it would have been toast. Would have been melted to the ground.
Yikes. And to just add that to another story of Ali being a good guy, like
Good guy, Ali.
how many more can we get? That's great. No, that's so it sounds like you guys are definitely there for each other, obviously, through those times
Yeah,
outside of the rain.
never had to, like, even the tough stuff we have gone through has never been like so tough that we couldn't get through it. Like the pandemic was hard, and then
Yeah.
I've been struggling with this fight with the Crohn's flare up for like the last 2
Right.
years, and yeah, without Geoff here making sure I didn't jump off a bridge, he's definitely the sane sounding grounding board for our life.
Okay. Just takes a
that's-
step back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because with a lot of, especially with health problems, like there's really only so much. Oh, thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because I'm not a doctor. There's nothing that I can really offer in the way of advice, but I've always found that when it comes to any kind of problem, as long as you can have that consistency, that sort of emotional stability throughout whatever the situation is, that always kind of helps the person that's going through the extremes in their life. So I can always listen, I can support, I can do whatever I need to do, but I've always found that sort of consistency is what keeps everything as balanced as it can be. So yeah, and I guess maybe I've gone through, I don't know, I don't really go through much.
Oh man. Crap. I'm having a brain fart. Let's bring it back in. Also, I think in the time, you guys are still there, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Here.
There we go.
Okay.
You're back.
Okay. A little bit of a freeze. Great. I was having a brain fart, so I don't know if you heard any of that, but I'm glad you guys didn't get to see that. I don't think. Okay. So we're back. So I know you guys too, we're catching up on years of stuff here. I love it. That's great. I think even in the time since we've last talked, I think you've both had AEW appearances, correct? As of like fairly recent, within a year, probably recent, both of you. Is that accurate?
Yeah, we were there maybe a month ago or so, but
yeah, recently.
Yeah, when they were last in Milwaukee, we were there.
Okay, cool. I want to know. I'm gonna have you guys gush about each other because I feel like that's just the theme of this pod is the love, and that I think it works, right? Because you guys you individually, you're very loved, and then when you're both together and you are like open about your relationship, and fans are just very happy for that. They're just like, I like this person, I like this person. Yes, they're together, and that's awesome. But like when you guys see each other individually inside of an AEW ring, like, and you're maybe one of you is backstage, one of you is in the ring, or you're watching on YouTube or what have you, like, what are you thinking about that other person?
Just how good he looks under these bright lights, and how his tan is usually popping, looking great. And
Okay.
like nice to like see him like where you know he belongs, like on the big stage, doing all the little things and making such little opportunity, making it so big and doing so well with it.
That was well said.
Yeah, and like it's a great thing for me to see her out there, but honestly, it also is kind of a frustrating thing because, like, it's not just me and my personal bias. I legitimately think that Laynie is one of the top women wrestlers in the world, not just here in Chicago, not just in indie wrestling. Like, I think he put her in there with anybody on any level in professional wrestling, and she's going to push them to their limit. It's not going to go the other way. So when I see her in there, and you know, we're extremely grateful for every opportunity that AEW has given us, but it's like I really feel if they kind of took some of the restrictor plates off and just let Laynie go with one of their talents, they would truly see what they've got like right under their nose. And you know, we've both been there for times when people that I consider not on Laynie's level, they're getting those showcase opportunities. They're getting the 8, 10, 12-minute match. They're getting, you know, these situations that are designed to make them look good. And it's like, that's great for that person. But to me, it's like Laynie is like, oh, she's just got such a high ceiling. Like there almost is no ceiling. Like she can be anything that company needs or any company needs. So like, yeah, it's always fantastic watching her in those situations, but it's also like, I'm sitting there pulling my hair out because it's like, why is she only doing this? Why is she not more important? Why is she not under contract? Why is she only, you know, bumping her head against the ceiling? So yeah, it's always amazing. Like I'll always cherish getting to see her under the bright lights in front of thousands of people. But to me, it shouldn't be such a rare thing. It should be happening every week.
Yeah, that was so precious. It's yes, agreed, 100%. But like the way that Laynie was looking at you while that was happening, I need to make a mental note. That is going on the internet, so like I will clip that. But yeah, no, 100%. I think from what we've seen, I feel like she can go with anyone that has a certain talent level. It seems she seems to match it. So I can't disagree with any of that. I won't argue any of that.
And in some cases, she literally has gone that far with these people because like she's a majority of the current talent pool that's on television right now came up with Laynie. Like she was
been around.
Yeah. She was out there pushing these guys to their limits in, you know, Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and Des Moines, Iowa, and Peoria, Illinois, like all these places. Like now they're off to the races, you know, big cities, bright lights, and she's kind of still chasing them. But but it's like, it's not even speculation on my part. She literally has gone to the limit with these people, and now it's just a matter of doing it on bigger stages.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Des Moines, Iowa. Hopefully no screw jobs there anytime soon. Great. Well, so Chris, did you have any questions or
no? I was just gonna say. I mean, hopefully it's just a matter of time, right? Because like you said, like we've definitely seen that trajectory. We've seen you go to toe to toe. I mean, what when I think about that, like the first thing that comes to mind is those matches with Thunder Rosa at Freelance Underground, right? Like there were, you know, things that like, yeah, like there's no reason why, you know, the two people on this call and not Charlie and myself should not be, you know, under those bright lights for sure.
Yeah. Our goal as podcasters, we want to run the ropes. Okay.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna. I don't know if who did we talk to recently? But we talked to Chico recently about that. Not that.
We talked to Chico. We talked to when we talked to Isaiah's.
Yeah, we've been pulling.
We brought it up. You know, it will happen someday, Charlie.
I mean, GPA runs classes on the weekends now, so gotta sign up.
Okay, I said I would do it only if I could just make an ass out of myself for one day, not be disruptive of the training, but just like. I'm sure, like, get scoop slammed or something just for content, just to like put it on the internet or like take a chair shot. I would do that
just to prove our, how unathletic we are.
Yes, just for people to laugh at us in the sake of views or clicks. I would 100% do that. So we'll make that happen.
Yes, we will. I think we can. Hopefully, by the end of the year, we'll make that happen.
Okay, cool. I will. You can be GPA. You probably owe me a few, so you can be the honorary chair shot person if you want.
Well, I picked up that responsibility very proudly.
Okay. So, guys, what's the path to the Freelance Tag Team Championships? How do we do this?
I mean, I think that the path is getting shorter. There was a little bit of an issue raised at this last show in the Battle Royal, and
okay.
I guess we can give you guys the exclusive. They did ask us for our comments after the show as it relates to the Bang Bros, and as I understand it, they were asked about us as well. So I think that our paths are going to cross sooner than later.
And you're confident you can take down the Bang Bros are pretty damn good. I mean.
Yeah, they're like the best tag team out there right now, but it's okay. It's not all about how good you are, it's about how smart you are.
So you're saying you can not necessarily, you don't have to do a double 360 flip off the ropes. You just got to be in the right place, right time. Take that opportunistic route, which some people can call cheating. But you probably call it just being smart.
We just seize every opportunity ever presented to us. Sue us.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, really not so much a matter of being able to do those moves. It's a matter of being able to get out of the way when somebody else does those moves.
Exactly.
That's pretty much the key to success there. One of my favorite Harley race quotes is he was facing a guy and he said, okay, well, what's your big move? And he said, I jump off the rope with this big elbow drop. And Harley kind of paused and said, all right, I'll move. And so that's really all it boils down to is, the Bang Bros, they're such a physically impressive team, and they can do so many things and they try so many things, and that's all great and very exciting, and the fans get into it, they love it, but it's like, I think that they don't account for some of the little in-between things, because I've been around, I've faced guys, like I've faced Bang Bros of the past, there's been the Stephen Wolfs and the Monixes and Ali back in the day, and like there's been all these various guys that were pushing the envelope physically, and you pick up on things, you figure out, okay, well, there's always this aspect to somebody's game that they're not really focusing on, or if this goes wrong, then that opens them up to A, B, and C. So, and I've literally seen those guys from their professional infancy. Like I was well into my career by the time they first walked in the doors of the Freelance Academy. So like, all due respect to those guys, and they are legitimately the best tag team, probably in independent wrestling. But there's just things that they don't know what they don't know, and I think that when they get in the ring with us, they're going to find out that as great as they are, they can always be better. And we have a plan, we have a strategy. We're obviously not going to divulge it here, but
sure.
I think that it's going to be an eye-opening experience when they step in the ring with us at some point.
Cool. You've been studying tape then. You've been in the lab studying tape.
We're there every show, watching the main event, listening to the pops, brother. We're there.
Did not expect to get a brother out of Laynie today. That's great. Any other? So it sounds like you guys are basically knocking on that door. Any other teams you guys are looking to face? Do you want to call anyone else out?
Yeah, I don't know if it's about necessarily calling people out, but I think that to me, just the whole like the both the couple relationship or even just the male female relationship, like that partnership is, I think, very, very fun and interesting, and it's something that can be capitalized on with more companies. Like we were actually fortunate enough to have a mixed tag against Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello when we were at AEW, I think last year.
Okay.
And so I think that's kind of a component that more companies should be taking advantage of. We've crossed paths with Pretty Proper and Joey Avalon and Sierra and different mixed tags like that. So I think that just anybody, because next month there could be a hot new team, and we'd love to go up against them, or just basically anybody. Could be a traditional tag team, mixed tag team, anybody. But I think that we're developing our chemistry to that point where we can pretty much hang with almost anybody. So I think the Bang Bros are our top priority right now, but
okay,
beyond that we can see. I think especially if we are the tag team in freelance wrestling, at that point I think it's a matter of people coming to us and not us going to them.
Exactly.
There you go.
What about Shaza and Two Juice?
No. Well, actually,
Yeah,
Dance off?
I'll sign it.
Yeah, I don't know if any athletic commission would sign off on doing anything physical, but we can figure out some sort of competition. Yeah.
Damn. Okay, but no, like Shaza straight up is just a no.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I mean, not for like a title or maybe even.
We'll like beat her up.
Yeah,
always,
it's like a parking lot thing.
But
Oh wow, parking lot thing. Okay, because I know she's around a lot. I mean, she's moved here, right? She's here.
yeah, not here in Chicago, St. Louis, thank God, right?
I mean, they'll take anybody over there.
That might have been a geographical play by her, but like, it's like, come on, St. Louis, like, it's got to be something else around there. But, I mean, it's cool that we get to see her more, so I'll take that.
Debatable. Yeah.
I tagged you. Did you like that clip I tagged you in recently, where you were that like it was like from the first ever Freelance Underground show? Because I think you've told us. And I think a lot of wrestlers are like, actually, I'm running into a lot more wrestlers that are like this or like listening to them. I think Ego said it on his podcast recently, but like you don't like watching your matches back. So when you saw that clip, did I send a shiver up your spine, or was that fine to see that?
Well, I mean, I only really watched that clip, which was, maybe all of 10 seconds or whatever.
Yeah,
so
that was fine though.
Yeah, but it was kind of nice to look back on that, because I was facing Mason Conrad in the clip.
Yes.
And that's a guy who's meant like so much to my development. He was kind of the top guy at Galley, and he was a big underground guy at the time back then. So that was kind of fun, just seeing us, go at it. And that was me kind of coming into my own as a babyface at that time, I think. And Mason was a big part of that. So yeah, like that specific clip did not send shivers, but if I had to sit and watch the whole thing or anything else, then yeah, I'd be throwing up on the side over here. So yeah, but I do like that concept though, to kind of go back and maybe do some watch alongs or just sort of take a peek back at kind of where we've been.
Yeah. No, well, Laynie, do you feel the same way? Will you watch your matches back, or you just no?
Yeah, I really, really hate it, but I get a lot of exposure therapy because my friends and we get together, we watch our old terrible matches together and laugh at ourselves. And
Okay, that's good.
So with plenty of exposure therapy with that.
Great. I did have an idea written down. I feel like the beauty of this podcast is like Chris and I kind of realize who we are, and we're not trying to be the biggest podcast in the world. We just enjoy the community and the people. And we come up with these wacky ideas. I did have an idea written down of like getting GPA and James on the same call and doing like a Brett versus Sting kind of watch along. And because I don't know if you listened to the episode, and no worries if you didn't. I just went toe to toe with Mikey in like my first wrestling debate ever, where he was Mikey from Black Label Pro.
Mm-hmm.
He was defending Lex Luger as the better wrestler, and I had to defend Sting. And I thought I did pretty well. And Mikey is also just hilarious and a really good sport. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we have some kind of like Brett versus Sting off, GPA James or something like that. And I don't know if you're open to that, or if you have any ideas when I say that, Geoff.
Yeah, I'd be open to that, because it would just be taking like our everyday conversations and putting them.
Yeah.
Because if I'm wearing a Brett shirt, or if I make a tweet or something, then it's just a countdown until James has some kind of comment about it. So yeah, we could definitely make that happen. I'm into that.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So we'll try to make some of that happen, because we were working on like trying to update the YouTube channel, and then I came across that video, and once again, I don't know when that happened. That might have been in the pandemic blur. I was like, I can't remember. I can't believe we did that with D-Ray. I totally forgot about that. And I decided to tweet that out. So maybe we'll work on something like that in the future. Have you come and defend your boy live. So it'll be fun.
Should be an easy prospect on my part.
Okay. I don't know if I can. I'll have to be very biased. I don't know if I can be, though. And then I only had one more question, that we can get to anything that Chris has thought up as well, or has to ask. I did also publish something. It was a fantasy article. It was freelance versus AEW. I don't know if you guys have read that. And I wanted to get the concept. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, because I know I'm interested in just if this could work or not. But the article was completely fantasy. It was you build to one show. It's freelance versus AEW. On that show, I had you guys booked. It was you two against Davey Vega and Hartenbauer. Seems like kind of a fun tag thing. You could also do like Davey Vega and Masha, I think would be a good one. That's a good mixed gender pair. But the thought came from who owns Logan Square, who owns that venue, because now like we're in this state where like no one's running there, right? Because they have it booked or whatever, and that led me to think like, what if both promotions want the venue? And I would suggest maybe go read it. I'm probably not doing a great job of explaining it, but I don't know. Do you think that could work, Geoff? I know like I even wrote it in there. I was like, no one would want to lose, right? What no other side would want to lose. But do you think, I feel like a show like that would draw if you could book it to some kind of like happy ending for both? Is there anything like when I say freelancers to AEW, and I'm not trying to get you in trouble or anything, but just like a joint show, side versus side. Does that sound like something that's enticing to you?
Yeah, I think so. As with a lot of these things, like I think the biggest battle would be behind the scenes, just getting everybody to play nice and, agreeing on financial splits and promotional splits and results and yada yada. So like there'd be a lot of red tape to get through, but just as a general concept without the headache of actually putting it together, I do like the idea, because there's really a pretty good distinction between their roster and ours. Like there's some crossover. They do use a few of our guys, but overall I think that there's something there, because I've always likened the two companies, because I'm a baseball fan, so I look at it as like Freelance is the company that has built through the farm system. Like they've drafted and developed, they've found their own talents, and I've looked at AEW as like the Yankees of just sort of buying the biggest name free agents and throwing them all out there on these sort of super teams. So I think there's something there, and even the fans, like I think there's kind of obviously some people go to both shows, but I think that there is definitely like the Freelance fan and the AAW fan, and I'm sure that the locals that go to both and have followed everything for years, like they would have fun with the two. They could pick sides, they could go at each other. So I think that there's there is something there, but I know it would be an absolute headache to put together today. So
absolutely, and that's the fun, I guess, of being a fan, is that I don't have to deal with any of the politics that you guys deal with. So you're a lot stronger than I am in that department, of course. But I just wanted to pick your brain on that. But Chris, do you have anything else? I mean, we're at 51 minutes now, so sorry we kept you a little past 40, 45, but it's been great. It's been great catching up. Chris, do you have anything?
No, I was going to close us off. I was mindful of the time, and I do want to thank you for coming back, for sharing some of, or catching up on several things that have happened over the years. Well, most recently, the official wedding, and congrats once again. And I'm just excited to see. Yeah, I'm excited to see what what other things you guys are up to, whether that's in freelance or other indie promotions. And hey, who's to say the next time we talk to you, you're off on your way under those big bright lights at a permanent stay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, even just, I don't know when this comes out, but like even just on the day that we're recording, they just announced the new 2-hour Saturday show for AEW, and I think that the industry as a whole is in a very, very like healthy place right now, where there's just going to be this huge demand for talent and content, and it's getting to the point where I think it's going to be hard to keep ignoring us. Like, they've done a good job for
Eventually,
several years, but there's been a ton of injuries in both companies, like, and now there's a need for more talent, more hours to fill, and yada yada. So, I think we just got to keep sticking around, and sooner or later something will break our way. But yeah, until then, we're just going to keep having fun and doing our thing on the indies, and I think that we're pretty good at what we do.
And hardcore matches, Laynie.
Hell yeah, I want some more different. Like, I want to do different stuff, not just regular plain old matches. I want to do tag matches, and I want to do street fights and hardcore match and death. Okay, maybe not death match.
That was the aesthetic was perfect. I was just picturing you doing like one of those pile drivers where they like, you put your hands through, and like the old Cactus Jack like style.
Oh my gosh, right? I should have right onto the pair.
Right, yeah, right onto some thumbtacks. So that was a great aesthetic, and yeah, I think you got that. To the last point is there is so many opportunities now, so that's a good thing for you guys. You will find your home somewhere, and you deserve it, and we've established that. And Chris texted me, "Hey, let's wrap it up. We're past 45 minutes." So, Chris, I'm outing you, but thank you. I was not very mindful of the time, but thank you guys for coming on. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, sorry we're the worst at like getting back to these things, but we should do this more often.
We should. We're open to it. We'll have Geoff on for some Brett versus Sting. That might be
make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Before we head out, you want to share your social handles? Where can people find you online? Follow you? What are your next matches, etc.?
At Laynie Luck, Instagram, Twitter. What are we doing this weekend? A scramble match at CCW and Glory Pro.
Woo!
So for mine, Twitter is GPA Thinks. Instagram is GPA IG. Right now, I'm mostly, let's see, so it's Freelance, Underground, MAW, Tri-State Wrestling. We got Sabotage Wrestling is back up and running. So
so we didn't even get into any of that.
No, but that's that'll be that's our
there you go.
Talk about slow story building. You meme someone to death for 5 years, and then now you're wrestling that individual. So I think she's got some payback. You got some payback coming to you.
Yep, it's one of those like rewards for people that have followed things from day one. It's like, all right, we're finally getting the payoff after 5 years of nonsense. So, those are our current spots, and I think that we'll see what's around the corner. That's kind of what we're focused on for now. But it's wrestling, so you never quite know what's next. But it'll be something, and it'll be good.
Yeah, we'll be following along for sure.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Let's go home. For Two Heels and a Face, you can find us at twoheelsandaface.com. You can find that article that Charlie mentioned, Freelance versus AAW, some fantasy booking article there, and other stuff. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Two Heels and a Face. That's number 2 Heels and a Face. And remember to hashtag Viva La Chico. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, both of you. Thank you, Charlie, for putting an amazing agenda together. And we'll be in touch.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you guys around.
Thank you.